Hello, my romanced Romanians, and welcome to yet another episode of the Day in Film MiniCast. Today I watched We Live in Time, directed by John Crowley, and coming out this year. So I had kind of been meaning to watch We Live in Time for a while. My partner watched it prior to me, and they said that it made them cry. So I kind of went into this movie with decently high expectations. And honestly, I can't say they were met, but I'd say I still had a pretty good time. We Live in Time follows a couple, that being Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield, and the life that they both lead together. And I mean, other than that, it's a pretty standard romance movie. The only gimmick in this movie being the constant, in quotes, time jumps, and I think that's my first problem with the movie, is that they never really commit to this idea of the time jumps. They do the time jumps semi-regularly in the first half of the movie. For example, you think that Andrew Garfield is divorcing Florence Pugh, and then you find out that that's the start of their relationship, and it goes from there. But after the first half of the movie, when everything's already been kind of set up, they never really time jump, and this review will have light spoilers. I'll try not to say it too directly, but there are some things that they definitely could have done a lot better. For example, after the end of the movie, I would have liked some time jumps to then, just to see how things are going between Andrew Garfield and, I mean, the whole family, really. And there are plenty of problems with this movie, but this feels like a very easy to rewatch romance movie. There's nothing too crazy in this movie. There's nothing, I mean, sure, it does have a relatively sad ending, but I mean, what good romance movie doesn't, really? In a lot of ways, this movie fulfilled the same kind of mental niche that an animal movie fills, like A Dog's Purpose, or things like that. You know what's going to happen, but you still watch it hoping something will change. And when it's not being incredibly depressing, it's actually a pretty happy movie. And I think that works pretty well for the romance genre, especially one like this. Again, Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield have wonderful chemistry. They really do a pretty good job at playing into each other. They're both very pretty people, so it's easy to get behind them and root for them. The setting that the movie is filmed in, that being the UK, is very pretty, and there are a lot of nice vistas and just unique looking things, again, to an American, that you don't really see otherwise. The movie otherwise is pretty stock standard, though. I mean, the cinematography isn't anything to write home about. The music is okay. I mean, there are some good sounds in there, and there are some bad sounds in there, and everything in between. I will say that the person sitting in front of me did start crying towards the end of the movie, and I simply could not relate. The movie, the main problem is that they don't really build up this relationship. Neither of the characters go through much change at all, and by the time they do, it's too late to really feel impactful. Which is no, it's not okay, especially not for a romance movie. You kind of want drama, and the only drama that really happens in this movie is towards the middle and towards the very, very end, and both are resolved within hours, not hours, but like minutes of the actual movie. A lot of it feels very inconsequential. If anything, this movie feels more like two people. It feels like a slideshow more than an actual movie. It's just. Here, character A and character B going through scenario F, and then here's character A and character B going through scenario G. It doesn't feel very. What I like in romance is watching how these people grow apart from each other and then grow back together. But this movie never really does that, and just tells a pretty good story up until the bad part is revealed to you, which is early on. But I honestly, I can't say I would ever rewatch this movie. I could see why someone would love it. Again, I think if they developed the characters a bit more, it could have been very good. I like the idea of a time-jumping romance, but they don't really commit to it, and they kind of abandon the idea really early in, which sucks. But hey, what are you gonna do? Honestly, I know it's short, but I don't have much more to say about this movie. It's just a very good romance movie. It feels almost stock standard, honestly. I wouldn't credit the brilliance, if there is any, to anything really. I'd say it was just a generally solid film all around. And it kind of feels like there's a movie like this every year, not that I've seen anyone but you, but I feel like the movies are comparable just because they're kind of generic but liked romance movies. It feels like there's at least one every year, and I mean, the one that I finally watched, We Live in Time, not so bad. But I don't have anything more to say. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you have a partner, give them a kiss on the cheek or on the lips, whatever. They're your partner, not mine. And I will see you in the theaters.